I don't want to waste my time going, okay, 122, 120, 120. You know what I mean? I gotta be on the move and stuff. And so now when you call 911, obviously everybody in here knows it's for an emergency. And don't hesitate to call us if you think you have an emergency. Don't hesitate to call for a medical or a criminal matter. You know, you all do live in a community, and you know, we can't be here 24/7. I don't live in this community. I don't think you want my 3 girls running around your nice squad and calm place 24/7. They drive me nuts. Okay, I love them. Don't get me wrong, but they drive me nuts, and so I can only imagine that you all move into a place like this because you know you want peace. You know what I mean? So obviously I'm not going to live there. But the thing is though is that she makes a good point in that if you have a 911 emergency, don't call her. Call 911. And then after 911's been called, if you feel so inclined after we show up, then you can call your courtesy officer. Because the bottom line is, especially if you're having a medical emergency, which is something you'll find more here than anything else. I was kind of looking at these calls. Now in 2010, y'all wore us out pretty good, but in 2011, there was only 4 calls.
Well,
so obviously something's been going right.
that goes back to 2009 too.
Yeah, I thought 2009, I didn't count 2009 because I almost ran out of ink when I started 2009. So I found out like we covered stuff because my obsessive compulsive disorder won't let me leave lines. But the thing is, that there were 4 calls in 2007. You have to understand, once you call 911, certain things take place. For one, depending on the phone system, if you dial 911 and then hang up, the police are going to be dispatched. In fact, we get that a lot with companies that call to foreign places, because in a lot of your office buildings, you got to dial 9 to dial out. So let's say they're going to dial, for example, a company from Georgia is going to call a company in California. They'll dial 911, and they'll like, oh shoot, I can't remember the rest of the numbers, and they'll hang up. Well, that is just enough to get us going in some cases. So we used to get that a lot too when I used to work down by the border. We find it here with some of our Hispanic residents where they go to call Mexico. You got to dial 011 to dial Mexico, and they'll accidentally hit the 911 when we go to their house and stuff like that. Now, if you accidentally do call 911 and you get a phone ringing, please answer and pick up the phone and tell the dispatcher, hey, I accidentally called 911. I'm sorry, you know, I meant to call, you know, my daughter or whatever, you know what I mean? Obviously, if you need help, say, yes, I really do need help, or hey, just a call county police department, just put your phone down because they'll respond, you know what I mean, to what's called an open line, if that's the case. In fact, sometimes what I tell people is, especially in a domestic situation where the boyfriend or the husband might come back, and if they're scared, I tell them, hey, just dial 911, put that phone down. Don't hang it up, just put it down. And we'll send somebody out right away. So, especially we here in the background. But 911 is for emergencies. It's for medical as well as criminal emergencies. But sometimes our 911 operators, I had one ride with me about 3 weeks ago. And he said, yeah, sometimes we get people calling 911 they want to know what the weather's going to be like that day. Or they call 911 because it's October. They want to know which weekend we changed the clock. So they get inundated up there with a bunch of non-emergency stuff. In fact, who here, I know it's on Roland, but catches the Jay Leno show on occasion. On occasion, Jay Leno will actually do a little, part of his little skit will be about funny 911 calls, you know, and, you know, people call all the time asking questions, you know, about their weather or about when to change the clocks or, you know, or whatever. And so, you know, obviously you don't want to call 911 for that, okay? But, you know, obviously, if you feel like you're getting ready to have medical condition, call 911. Because I'll tell you what's great is that at Hicks and Hurt, and also at Austell and Seas, you got a fire station real close. They can get here real quick, and they'll run code. Unfortunately, if you try to call your courtesy officer, you call her, and you're saying, hey, I'm having, you know, heart palpitations. I don't know, I'm just throwing one out there. I'm having heart palpitations. All she's going to do is hang up and call 911.
Right.
Get them out here, and that just takes time. You know, they can take up to 3 to 6 minutes for that call to be completed and get somebody out here. As well, if you call 911, stay on the phone, especially if you're calling from a cell phone. Because if you're calling from a cell phone, because like most people, all I have nowadays, I have a cell phone. I have a house phone for my burglar alarm, but I don't ever use it. I just use my cell phone all the time. And so when people call 911 from a cell phone, we can do what's called a GPS or global positioning system trace to get a latitude, longitude position. In other words, like you all see the map, you got squares drawn in. Those are all latitude, longitude Well, the problem is that that's only accurate up to like, 100 yards sometimes, 40 meters sometimes. So if you call 911 and then just hang up with your cell phone, that's not going to be enough to get us out of here, because then we got to call the like Sprint or Verizon or whatever the company is to get the subscriber information. If you've got a prepaid cell phone, sometimes the subscriber information isn't going to be in their records, because it's a prepaid phone. They're not going to. There's no contract. There's no anything for them to go after you with it. So. But, obviously, if you feel like you're gonna, if you feel like you're having a heart attack, or you're just having some general discomfort that this doesn't feel right, call 911. We had a call one time at the police department where a guy called 911, and we get there, and it sounded like it was a criminal matter at first, based on what he said. When we get there, and the officer starts talking to him, and this guy starts saying things that aren't really in line with reality. And it turns out what happened was his blood pressure was way up. It was affecting it was so bad, it was affecting his brain. And so, fortunately the officer kind of caught on. He just didn't say, well, this guy's crazy, we're going to leave. Because, this guy was not. He was actually having a medical condition. And luckily we were able to get him some help. Because, we could have blown something out, we could have had an injury or something. Stroke, high blood pressure causes all sorts of problems. So, but a lot of times, if it's just a medical emergency, you don't have to worry about the police coming, because the police will come, the fire department will come out, bucket ambulance will also come out. I'll guarantee you that most likely, 99.9% of the time, the fire department will be bucket here. And that's because we got stations so close to here. Bucket's nearest station that I can remember is down there at Roland, the Parkway, so it's a little bit of a ways from here. But our fire department will get here, and they'll start, taking your vitals and stuff like that, and letting you know what's going on. Now, if you have a criminal matter, or a suspicious matter, or whatever, feel free to call us. Like I said, we can't be here all the time. My eyes are your eyes, basically. And if you see somebody walking through your neighborhood, or trying to lock some doors and stuff like that, give us a call. It could be something innocent. I'll never forget, there was this guy one time, we got a call, a suspicious call at an apartment complex. And this is recent, like 2 weeks ago. We roll up, and the guy was like, man, we're just moving in. But it just was weird, because nobody had seen that car before, nobody had seen him before. He was moving stuff in and out of the apartment and stuff. And so the people called 911, I told them, I said, well, aren't you glad you got neighbors that care enough to call 911 to make sure everything's legit? And I think a lot of times people don't want to get involved. Oh, I don't want to get involved. Oh, I don't want to get involved. Oh, somebody else will call. And the problem is, all it takes for evil to prevail for good men and women to do nothing.
Right.
It's like I tell people, there's a saying that goes, all fear the words of evil men, but what we should fear most is the indifference of good men. And if we're indifferent, or if we think somebody else is going to handle it, then that's a problem. Because I'll tell you right now, if I roll up to a call, and there's 3 officers standing there, and he thinks that I'm going to take care of it, and I think he's going to take care of it, and he thinks she's going to take care of it, guess what? Nobody's taking care of it. You know what I mean? I'm going to take charge of the guy. When I get to the call, the younger officers on my shift know when I get there, if one of them hasn't claimed the responsibility for handling the call, I'm going to handle it. And if you've been there a lot longer than I've been there, I'm going to definitely be upset. You know what I mean? Because I hate re-interviewing people and having to get information over and over and over again when people have been victimized. So, the bottom line is, if you don't take charge of your own community and what's going on around here, that's how things can happen. If you see suspicious activity, give us a call. If you know somebody's been trying to break into your apartment, especially from the outside, give us a call. These are things that we need to know, because we don't know where to send resources if we don't know where the problems are. If there's pry marks in your doors or anything like that, give us a call. If you see some dude sleeping in the middle of the field behind your building, give us a call. That activity is not normal. That could be a criminal matter, it could be a medical matter. You have somebody walking and falling out, heaven forbid, So, but the thing is though, when you call 911, it's going to generate a response. And sometimes people will call 911 because they're arguing with their loved ones, and then when 911 calls back, they'll say, oh no, we don't need anybody. Well, I guarantee you we're going to respond. And because this is an assisted living place, we handle it just like we would anywhere else. We handle this place, we consider these basically individual apartments. We consider these, because y'all are not dependent, you're independent.
Right.
There is a place not too far from here on Multi Road, actually right across from the hospital, where they have people there that are mental health issues, and mental health issues. Now when we go there, obviously we handle it different. If 2 people get into a fight there, they're all mental health patients, we're probably just going to turn it back over to the staff after we calm things down. But in a place like this, if 2 people get into an, I don't think they are fighting, but just give you an example, if you see 2 people that are fighting, or a husband and wife that live together, or then we're gonna be handling it like we would any other apartment. You know, so that's the advantages of living in an independent living facility, that you can go as you please. One of the disadvantages is that when the police show up, you may handle just like a regular apartment. So, but that's, you know, don't hesitate to call 911. If you feel a danger for your safety, don't hesitate. Like, for example, you know, let's face it, who here comes from a large family? Okay, there's 7 children in my family. Not my personal, I have 3 daughters. But in the family I grew up in, there's 7 children. I've got tons of cousins. All of us, I don't care who you are, if you have a large enough family, all of us have somebody in the family that's a little nefarious, right? A little bit on the bad side. You know? And unfortunately, sometimes, you know, when that person comes to visit, that person may start acting up. And you're going to want them to leave. You're like, I'm not leaving. Call us. Call us before it becomes a real problem. Because we'll show up and be like, dude, you're 25. I know you don't live here because of the rules. Get out. You know, I know nobody wants to call the police. I don't like the police in my own life. I don't like getting pulled over. I don't like the police coming to my house when my alarm goes off. I don't like government interaction in my family. I can handle my family, I love my family, but there comes a time where, you know, if I have a cousin in particular, or my wife has a cousin that's a drug user, she is not welcome in my home. Sorry, she's just not.
Right.
Okay, because I've got stuff in my house that I don't want taken, like my badge, my ID, my firearms, and stuff like that. I'll meet her at a restaurant, I'll meet her at a park, but I will not meet her at my house. So if you were to come to my house one day, and I tell her to get out, and she ain't gonna leave, guess what? I hate to do it, but I'm gonna call the police on my cousin. And the sheriff's department that patrols the area where I live is gonna come out and remove her from my house. Because she ain't gonna be living there. I guarantee you, she ain't gonna be living there. And so none of us really wants to do that. But the thing is though, if I let her stay there, and all of a sudden she starts using drugs again and becomes violent like she's known to become, or have certain psychological episodes that she knows to have because of her drug use, and that falls back on me. You know, that can get me in trouble. Because now she starts throwing things around, I gotta lay hands on her. And all of a sudden she and I are getting into a tussle. You know, the police are gonna come out and be like, well, Officer Prescient, you seem like an alright fella, but you're a pretty big fella compared to her. And she's saying that she started it, and, you know, we're gonna have some issues. Because then I generate, you know, my department then, not only do I get investigated by the sheriff's department in my area, but also get investigated by my own department to make sure I was on the up and up. So I may get away with it with them, because I wouldn't do anything wrong, but my own department can come in and say, guess what, Officer Christiansen, we find that you're at fault because you allowed a convicted felon to live in your house. Right. You're now gone. Right. So that's stuff that you guys don't need. It's great that you have family come to visit. I love it when my family, except this particular cousin, comes to visit. Okay? I love it when they do. But I love it when they leave. Okay? Because family and family, a lot of times they're exactly the same. After 3 hours, they both kind of stay. You know what I mean? So it's time for them to go. So, you know, if you have a relative that shows up here and they start causing a problem and they won't leave, call us and we will ask that person to leave. Because we would rather, as the police department, show up before there's a problem than show up after there's been a problem. Right. Because it is an independent living facility, y'all are treated equal under the eyes of the law. Okay? So if you got a relative that shows up that refuses to leave, please call us. Talk about Aaron and say, John, you don't live here. It's been nice having you for a visit, but you know, Mr. Jones or Mrs. Schmidt-Lapp wants you to leave, so now it's time to go. And I'll tell you, they will usually leave. Why? Because they don't want me to deny them of their freedom. Okay? So don't hesitate to call us. But as well, once you make that call, don't think that by calling us back saying that the person has left, that's going to be enough to get us to stop coming. Because our experience has been that sometimes family members or whatever will call back and say, don't come, when it's actually still a problem because that person is now calmed down. We're going to come out here, we're going to make sure that person is gone. Because you folks have worked hard your whole lives, you all have moved into this nice place, and you all deserve to live in peace. That's right. So we'll come out here and we'll make sure that you all have some peace. So don't hesitate to call. You know, be involved. If you see something out in the parking lot, even if you want to call and say, hey, you know, come check, just check the area. That's all you